Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your VFit coach. For those of you that don't know me, I've been a personal trainer for about 35 years, trained about 40,000, getting close to 40,000 hourly sessions in personal training. I have a lot of clients right now, so I don't really need clients, but I am going to blog and start giving you guys some great content. But that's not enough credibility for you. I could talk about my fitness goals in the past, 35 years. I am a master level weightlifter, and I've competed at the finals. I've competed in 2 master world events, such as the Pan Ams and the World Cup. But I'm not only a weightlifter, I also have done some bodybuilding. I've actually trained 15 bodybuilders that done figure, bikini, men's physique, and bodybuilding. I also have a lot of other activities, such as powerlifting. I do have a former record in the deadlift and the squat. So enough about me, but let me talk to you guys. And what I want to know is, where are you in fitness? So now, put this in perspective. Where is your strength of your program? Is it 100%? Is it 80%? Now, how is that defined? So your effort that you put into your program is only as good as the knowledge that you have, or if you have a coach, the knowledge of your coach. So I'm going to pull up some slides for you to look at. So this first slide is where people should be. Now you look at the bar on the left, and you see if you have good coaching, which is roughly around 80% strength. And I also put up the consumer average consumer, how much knowledge they've gained from online, from AI, from reading articles, following influencers. It's roughly around 30% based on my perspective. So that is the strength of a program. Now, before you look at the expenditure and the intake graph, your knowledge, your expenditure and intake strength of your program cannot exceed the knowledge that you possess or your coach possesses. So in that case, you look at expenditure, the best it could be is around 80% of the strength of your program. Your intake, which is your food, counting calories, knowing how many calories you eat per day, how much effort are you putting in that? Also, how much you know about the macros and all the balanced nutrients that should be in your intake. When you look at expenditure, you have to look at the broad perspective that expenditure is exercise, your non-exercise. So why I didn't label it exercise is the reason why is because it depends on your goals. You could have a person that is just needs to lose weight, maybe in their a senior that just needs to lose weight and doesn't want to exercise. They can still reach their goals by just adding daily activity. So it's not really exercise. It can be just activity to lose weight, eat right. So in perspective, expenditure is when you work out, when you do activities, when you do your sports activities, and so forth. So let's look at the other graph. The next graph is sadly where most people are. So most people are actually here is where they get average coaching. And this is the sad part, because a lot of people are fed so much data from AI, so much from influencers, that there's a lot of cookie cutter information. There's not solid information because people are trying to sell you a program, like me. But they're trying to sell you by giving you cookie cutter information or cherry picking information just to get you attracted, so you will get enticed of what they have to offer. So when you look at most clients, based on my experience with other coaches as well and people that I speak to, expenditure is not really at full effort. And that's because you have to understand the full perspective of expenditure. You can't just be doing cardio without, knowing where you should be into your heart rate or your target heart rate. You shouldn't be doing strength without knowing progressions. For example, you could keep doing the same routine, the strength routine over and over again, and you assume like, oh, I hit a PR, but overall, when you look at the big picture, that workout may not be as good as a previous workout. See, this is what I'm talking about expenditure. as far as intake, this is where most people are the worst. Not only about counting calories, it's about the right kind of food. Or is your food balanced? When do you eat? Do you eat before you work out? Do you eat enough protein so that your body goes through this protein synthesis stage and builds muscle to increase your metabolism? Okay, so there's all these perspectives where there that are holes in a lot of people's programs. So let's move on to the next graph, and this is based on assumption. When you assume that your coach or yourself has enough knowledge, but it was never the correct knowledge to begin with. A lot of people are here. Sadly, a lot of coaches are here where they're entry-level coaches and they don't do enough research. And then you find out that when you look at the graph that the consumer knows almost as much as the coach does in the broad perspective. And this does exist. So like I mentioned earlier, your strength of your program cannot exceed your knowledge base. So you can see this is a scenario where your strength program is not so well. So let's move on to the last graph. This is when you put it all together, you have a well-experienced coach, and you put the effort in like elite athlete, like you want to really pursue that goal. So a fitness athlete, a competitor, like I mentioned, bikini competitors. I had a recent client that did a weightlifting competition. Of course, I can't mention his name because a lot of my clients are professionals and they want to keep their profile on the down low. But when you have a commitment for, let's say, 4 weeks and you lose 12 pounds, like 170 to 154, something like that, or 166 to 154, you lose 12 pounds in less than 4 weeks and you get stronger. This is what I'm talking about. This is when your experienced coach and your effort of expenditure and your effort of food intake was all put together correctly and you get great results. So anyways, if you want to learn more, please follow my YouTube channel, VFit Coach on YouTube, and hope to see you guys soon.